Hello, people of the internet. My name is Joe. I'm here to bring you episode 1 of the Blockhouse Infinity Tactics. Today, we're going to be going over one of the most crucial things in Infinity, and that's moving. Some of you may say, well, what are you talking about? Moving's not that critical. I play other games where it's 30 minutes while someone moves, and I just sit there and eat. Well, that doesn't happen in Infinity. There's things such as automatic reactions or AROs, which make moving very important. Things like cover, moving into cover. Moving is kind of the most essential thing and fundamental thing that you will do in Infinity. So that's why we're going to go through a little bit of moving. We'll touch on some subjects. Some subjects will get touched on more later on, just due to later we'll have tactics videos about shooting. So ballistic skill will be covered a lot, which will bring us into ODD and other modifiers which affect shooting. Today, just movement. In order to shoot, you have to usually move to be able to shoot from somewhere, unless you're just ballsy and hanging out and just feel like shooting from wherever you're at. Some things we're finding, but we digress. Okay, so we're going to kind of run down the list of things that are considered movement skills. So these are short movement skills that you can do. All of these skills can be done in both the active turn and the reactive turn. So those movement skills that you can do are change facing, climb, discover, get up, go prone, jump, move, mount, or open and or close. Well, I guess open would be one and close would be two. So what we are going to cover is move. That will be our first topic of discussion. Usually when you have a profile, and maybe later I'll have a little thing, we'll switch to the profile, we can circle it and draw it and shit. Okay, so on your profile, you have two movement values. It's the first and second order. One order makes up two short skills. Today we're only talking about short movement skills. So on your piece of paper, you can have 2-2, 4-2, 4-4, 6-4, 6-6, all kinds of different variations of how much you can move your first part of your order and how much you can use the second part of your order. So for all intents and purposes, we're going to be talking about 4-4 people here until we get to Superjump and we'll start talking about the Ariadne dogs because they're Ariadne dogs. So you'll see behind me here, we have sauce rain until the brewery gets their own kind of gaming room and can take it back. Adam, who is let me borrow this fantastic terrain here to test on. A little rundown about who you see here, who will be playing in our game here of let's move around. So we have a Choxa with an HMG because Tohav should always take a Choxa with an HMG with neurokinetics. Here we have a Kazakh doctor who will hopefully make it over here to our tank hunter with an HP HMG. And then you have Mr. Dog Guy just chilling over here waiting for his super jump example to come up. So the first part of a movement and what happens with a movement. So my Kazakh doctor over here, he wants to come doctor his buddy friend over here so that the APHMG can go 4-on-4 with this Choxa and hopefully take it down because it's, nasty. So we know that the Kazakh doctor is 4-4. We'll spin our order and we'll move our Kazakh doctor at least 4 inches. Boom. Movement. Super easy, right? No problems. Well, now, because this guy, our Choxa HMG, saw this movement, he can now do something or has an ARO. I failed to mention that this is the Ariadne player's active turn during most of this, just due to this very pesky neurokinetic, which in short lets you shoot all of your shot or your full burst in your reactive turn. In your active turn, you only get 1 shot. So now this is more than likely going to happen. The Choxa will mow down the Kazakh doctor. Holy shit! Everybody's dead. We have no doctor to heal us. But in the basic type movements, you can do you move 4/4. However, there's another kind of movement, a basic move called a cautious move, in which case, I know this guy's 4/4. It takes 4 to get to this little box here. Fantastic. Well, I'm going to spend a whole order and cautious move, which will allow me to move my up to my full first 4 inches and not get fired upon. Well, that's fantastic. Now this neurokinetic guy, he can't shoot at me. Yes, and you would be mostly correct. However, so because we have this, we can see that our Choxa guy can't see the Kazakh Doctor from start to finish. Well, okay, now our Choxa can't shoot. Yes, correct. However, should something be hidden or a TO camo, so for instance, Toha can take fantastic things called Clipsoses, which are TO camo. So this Clipsos, just happens to be somewhere to where, he could see. We'll stick him for, because I feel like it. Right there. Fantastic. This Calypsos now just showed up on the board, who has a combi rifle and has clear line of sight now to our doctor. Well, the doctor thinks I can now be seen. Yes. So now, because it all happens in one order, anything that could see this Kazakh dog move from here to here is thwarted. And the Kazakh doc cannot make a reaction either because it was a long skill. And now, not only does this reaction happen, so shoot with a combi rifle, shoot with a multi-sniper rifle, and the neurokinetics, all 4 shots now go into the Kazakh doctor. So it's one of those risky things where you kind of have to pay attention whether there is the possibility of TO camo when cautious moving. And that's really the biggest pain with the cautious move. Normally, you can go around this table and eyeball it and get to where you need to be for cautious movement. So the other kind of basic move that you can do is a jump. And so we've set up a little scenario here where we have our triumphant little McCool trying to bridge this gap between here and here. Okay, so we know our McCool is 4 inches. So that's going to let us be able to jump safely from here to here. Fantastic, we made the jump. That's all we can do. Because this guy only has regular movement, he doesn't have any super jump. He doesn't have the ability to either throw smoke at his feet or chunk smoke down the ground while he's jumping across the chasm here. Yes, it's not a trench. So he can just jump. He can choose to jump again. And if he jumps again, then it's only half of his second movement. So your first jump, bam, you can jump, whoo, yay, 4. But to simulate kind of losing the momentum in the jump, you're only allowed to jump half of your second movement. So you can jump, which would be kind of cool, I guess, if you're on a fence top or whatever. Actually, that doesn't work because you have to be able to fit the base on where you're jumping. Anyway, we digress. So to be able to jump, you can jump a full 4. You have to land, your base has to completely be on and on the other side, and your jump is fantastic. However, you may get a shot in the face trying to jump across. But sometimes you have a doctor, and that's his only option is to jump across something or spend a buttload of orders to climb down some stairs. The axe doctor could do it. So that's the basic jump. Now we're going to go to one of my favorite still a word. Let's see if this will stand up here. Nope. Okay. So we talked about regular jump. Now we're going to talk a little bit about Superjump. Superjump is kind of one of those things that really sold me in Ariadna once I found out how to play dogs. I'm like, ooh, How very interesting. They have total immunity, which gives 2 to everything that kind of throws that, except for adhesive launchers, for whatever fluff reasons, would be matting the fur, whatever. But they have Superjump, which allows them to jump diagonally anywhere they please and do something. So much like this guy, he could also, you can essentially jump, as long as your tape measure stays straight, you can jump that amount. And then, as long as you're within the parameters of your, 4, 4, or 2, 2 to go up and jump like this, then you don't take any falling damage. So we'll get to falling damage in a minute for the super jump. So what can happen, just, let's see, 5.5 inches there and then fall the rest of my ½ inch down to the ground. I still, my 6 inches is still there. Now I can do something, whereas this guy has to jump and maybe jump again, or maybe walk. But now I can throw smoke, so I can be seen by this a-hole, who is the Neurokinetics, so I'm going to shoot for, burst, albeit at a BS11. Still, it hurts. Their damage 15, doesn't matter what the BS is for the damage. So this guy can throw smoke. He's pretty physical, I believe 16, if I remember correctly. So now I'm throwing smoke at my feet. I need 19s or less. We may be within 12 inches here of the machine gun, we can see, yes. So we're kind of at the current machine gun's flat rate. The dice are somewhat decent for jumping and throwing smoke to try to deal with this guy here. So damage. The reason why I was trying to distance all of this correctly. So can a super jumping model take damage? Yes. So say if, well, to put it in the easiest terms that I was trying to come up with, say there was a building, this guy, well, you can't see this because, well, you can on the small screen. So 10 inches is here. So this is the maximum kind of falling distance that he can take before he has to start taking damage. So say if he jumped off a building that was 11 inches tall, yes, he can just jump right off. He's going to have to take that 2.5 points of damage, but he's armor 3. He should be fine. So that kind of covers the jump, the move, a little bit about ARO. We'll get into things like discover, get up, go prone in later videos, but I'm just curious to see if this format works, what people think about these kind of tactics videos, maybe going over some very basic stuff for things like movement for veterans out there, but hopefully it helps the newer players kind of understand the very basic part of Infinity, which is move. And as you can see, everything almost in this game requires movement, unless you're this guy. This guy here, you kind of park him and he doesn't move. If he moves, he's just going to get up into better cover, which is another point of movement. So again, movement, super key. It's one of those things you don't want to take for granted. It's one of those things that can easily win you the game. Say if you move into place where there's a mine, well, and shock, and it's going to hurt really bad if you fail the template. So thank you for taking a peek at the Blockhouse tactics videos. We'll hope to see you for the next one. Check out the interview section. Our episode 1 should be up, as well as this video at the same time. Interview 1 with Magno, super cool dude. Go check that out. Coming soon will be hopefully a battle report using the same kind of styles. I think I'm digging the software here that I've chosen. So yeah, hope to see you guys soon.